It's a very windy day today and it's cold, so I'm before I sit down, start filming. No, my tripod. Before I start filming, I'm going to light the fire. All right, now that that's done, and I've got my coffee, let's have a chatty stitch along, shall we? Yes. Okay, before we get started properly, I should probably show you what I'm going to be working on, which is these granny squares. You can see there's my cardigan. I'm leaving it in the living room in the hope that in the evenings it will encourage me to work on it. It hasn't been, because I've been focusing on let me spin you around. So I've been focusing on getting the the kits up in the shop, which I did last week. And the kits, the snowflakes, those were originally what I was going to stitch up in this video. Then it was going to be the advent calendar bags. And then I finished them. So I'm just gonna crochet. So a crochet and chat, even though I'm not much of a knitter or a crochet person. She says with a crochet snood on and a granny square blanket behind her. These are simple. These are so simple. So it's pretty much all I can do. And today I'm not going to have the whole one camera on my work and the other on me. So I'm going to try and do it so that you can roughly get an idea of what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Right. So first things first. It's going to be that kind of a video, folks. Purple. I need the purple. I've got this really lovely basket. I don't have a project bag for my crochet. That's where my needle went. I've been looking for this needle. Okay, well, I popped it in the lid. Clearly, I used it as a pin cushion and now I can't get it back in. It's pretty, isn't it? Anyway, got it from a car boot sale for £3. Bargain. It's like Mary Poppins' bag. Where's the purple? Nope. I believe in the Mary Poppins film, she goes, ha 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 ha, here it is. The original. I was brought up on that film. One of my parents had filmed it, recorded it on VHS. So we used to have VHS tapes, and if we were bored, we would stick on a film that Mum or Dad had filmed off of the telly, and Mary Poppins was one of them. Julia Roberts? Julie Andrews, practically perfect in every way. So there we go. Now I'm doing this. Because I've got my the next coffee and craft video coming up on the other channel in a week or so. And, actually when I post this, it's going to be next week, I think. God, time is just running away from me. And I want to have something, I want to have some more progress on the cardigan to show. So I need to crack on. Oh. So there we go. I'll warm up in a minute. And I might take this snood off. But it's very useful. In fact, I got the pattern for this snood from the same lady that I bought the pattern off for the cardigan. I'm not affiliated with her in any way, shape or form. I don't even know her, but I just think her work is excellent, and for beginners like me, who have no clue what they're doing and do very bad things like not blocking. I didn't even know what blocking was at the start. I had to look it up. And now that I know what blocking is, I still don't do it. I should do. I know I should. It's, I guess, what would be the stitchy equivalent? I guess if you sew, it would be the sewing equivalent of not pressing your seams. You know you should, but you don't always want to. What other bad habit have I got? Well, I use different weights of wool, different kinds of wool. I just mix them all up. So although I did do is it a gauge square? That I can't remember what you call it, but it's to make sure, it's basically to give you an idea of the size and your tension, because obviously your tension is going to be different and the wool that you're going to be using is going to be different. So to make sure that you get the right size of cardigan, this lady, the pigeon's nest, by the way, that's what I was trying to say, she recommends doing what I think is called, if I remember correctly, a gauge square. And I did that, and it's wrong. Because the gauge square I did, I don't know what happened. I'm sure I'm using the same wool, but I did get it from 2 different places. But it was both double knit. They were both double knit. Isn't all double knit wool the same? Probably not. Anyway, so the squares that I am currently knitting are ever so slightly bigger than my gauge square. And so, and I was like, it doesn't matter. I love things oversized. It can't be too big. Do any of you remember the oversized dress that I made on the other channel about a year ago actually? The tent. And I did actually get it down from the attic this year with the intention of making a new video for this channel about how I was going to fix the tent, because there's oversized and then there's just unwearable. But yes, as always, life and work got away with me and I didn't do anything with that dress. So it's getting packed up again and put in, and it's going to go back in the attic until next year. Because I have seasonal boxes in the attic. So I have spring, summer, autumn, winter, because they're the seasons. And with each season, I pack up the box of seasonal stuff that we are currently in or just moving out of, and then I swap it for the new season. And every single season, it just gives me like that fresh start feeling. It's lovely. And I also put away whips that I don't want to deal with until the following season. And that dress, it's kind of oranges and browns and it's very autumnal colours. So it's become an ongoing autumnal whip, which is just nothing's happening with it. So we're just going to have to hang tight and wait until next autumn to see if I manage to do anything with it. Will I? I don't know. December is in just a couple of weeks' time. So I'll be bringing down the winter box, and that winter box has got fabric in that I bought to make myself a tweed jacket years ago. Like, I can't even remember when it was exactly. And it's just never, I think I just need to accept that I'm never going to make myself a jacket. I don't have the time, and it was never really a whip that excited me. It was just, I wanted a tweed jacket. I couldn't find one that I liked. I certainly couldn't find anything that would fit me because I'm such a small, strange shaped person. So I thought I'll make my own, which is pretty much how I got into sewing, because I had to amend I had to take in pretty much everything I bought. And I got pretty good at it. The only thing that I never managed to conquer were taking in shoulders, making them narrower, because it meant taking sleeves out and having to change the shape of everything. It's a whole thing. And no. I've ruined a couple of good jackets and shirts trying to make the shoulders narrower. Even petite sizes can be too big, which is a bit depressing. I'm literally 5 foot, nothing. So this is as tall as I get. And my nan, who's in her 90s, is teeny. Oh, now I did put the feelers out a while ago, asking if anybody had any questions, and I can't remember them, and I didn't write them down, which is never a good sign. Olivia, I remember you asked me a couple of questions, and forgive me if I'm wrong. I might be just making this up, in which case I'm going to be talking about some random stuff for no reason. But I seem to remember you were asking me about taxes. I'm going to go with yes. I'm sure you also asked me about last posting dates and stuff as well. Last posting dates, the way I'm treating it, I'm going to do Black Friday. I don't usually, but I think needs must this year. I want to try and make some sales before Christmas. Like everybody, we're finding things a little bit tight. We're very lucky. I don't want anybody to worry. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. But obviously, a few more sales before Christmas would be very welcome. So I am going to partake in a bit of Black Friday madness this year. And I read this morning on the BBC News website that Royal Mail are planning some more strikes in December, which we knew about, but it's going to include Christmas Eve. And I just thought, oh my God. Oh, it's a tricky one. On the one hand, I'm 100% behind them. On the other hand, it does make me just feel like I really hope it works out for them, because if it doesn't, it's a heck of a lot of disruption for nothing. And that would be a little bit sad. Right, okay, blue. I just put my square down so that I could check the mic. If this happens all the time, something gets put down and then I'm like, oh! It's usually a needle that I then panic about, because you don't want to lose a needle. So yeah, what was I talking about? Black Friday, 25th of November. I'll be partaking in that. Royal Mail, I believe, are going to be on strike on that Friday and the following Monday, which is Cyber Monday. I think I will be closing my shop soon after that. So the very start of December. I will try and make the most of Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And then I think I'm going to call it a day, because with the ongoing disruptions, I want to make sure that anything that goes out has plenty of time to go out. And with every order that I get in December that gets closer to Christmas, I know that there's, 25 days before the Christmas day. I don't think that the strikes have been as bad as some people have made out the news, have made them out to be. It has definitely spooked people, though. This is the problem. So I don't think that people are going to want to purchase stuff until all of these strikes are finished, which is going to be after Christmas. So yes, I'm waffling. Physical products, I'm going to close the shop at some point early December, and then I'm just going to keep the digital products up. I've got you've seen the snowflakes. I'm thinking about listing the snowflakes as a digital pattern when I close the shop, so that there's still time for people to purchase them. But I'm also not sure, because the trouble with digital patterns and PDFs and stuff on Etsy, or anywhere online really, but Etsy's pretty bad for it, is that it's easy for people to nick them. And I have said in the past that I'm trying to design stuff that it wouldn't break me or break me. That sounds so dramatic, doesn't it? It wouldn't affect me too much if someone did steal them. Not disposable, but not my babies either, if that makes sense. There has to be a healthy middle. The snowflakes are okay, but I think it was just because the work that went into making them and getting them the way I wanted them to. I would be annoyed if somebody stole them quite so soon. I don't know. That could be a lot of fear for nothing. I think I will launch them because there's not much chance that I'm going to make any organic sales of them up until maybe next year again. And I'd like to think that I would have something fresh by then as well. So yeah, I think I've just talked myself into releasing them as a downloadable PDF. Someone very kindly did reach out and ask me if I was going to do that. And that's the other thing. I don't like the idea of withholding them when there are people who genuinely would like them and you know, are trying to support me as well, which is amazing. So yeah, I think I just need to get over myself. But yes, that answers that question, I hope. I'm planning on closing the shop for physical products at the beginning of December. And it does mean that I might have to say no to some sales, but I think this Christmas, I think it's a bit of a write-off for sales, don't you? I mean, not a complete write-off, but compared to a regular year, this is not a regular year. It's it's not a regular year. Oh, and then taxes. That was the next thing. I'm the worst person to talk about this. I used to do my own taxes until very recently. I was comfortable doing them. I wasn't doing anything in the business that was particularly complicated. I literally spend what I have. I don't have any loans. I keep my overheads as low as I can. So it's a pretty straightforward, simple setup that I've got. What's complicated that has been things like Brexit and YouTube. It's different. I think I'm confident enough to submit my taxes correctly, even though some of the income I'm getting is through things like YouTube. So this year I am getting an accountant so that they can do, cross all the T's and dot all the I's. And although I think they'll be doing something that I could technically do myself, I am paying them so that I don't have to worry. And I'm not quite sure. It's probably going to have to go on my credit card because, money's fun. Or maybe not. I guess that depends on how my Christmas sales go. But to answer your question, Olivia, with regards to taxes, if you did ask it and I haven't just made this up, it depends what your setup is. It's easy for me to say get an accountant. I do realise, though, that when somebody's just getting started, it's tough because sometimes you're not making much money and paying for an accountant can be more expensive than what, you can spend more money on an accountant than what you actually earn. That's hard. That is very hard. See, all of these expenses, I'm starting to find that as a business, if you want to scale up and scale up properly, there's expenses. And so now I can see why people get loans out to fund these things. No, I'm not getting a loan out. I absolutely point blank refuse. Our current fixed rate mortgage runs out next spring. And so we're going to have the joys of finding a new one. And our current mortgage was on a pretty low rate. We were very lucky. We are not going to be that lucky again. Everybody's mortgage is going up and ours is going to go up too. So I don't want it to go up any more than it has to by getting out more debt. I want to try and clear what we have. I want to clear some of what we have because we have debt. This house is needy. And so we've spent a fair bit when we moved in, just making it livable and just doing work over the years. That's been a whole thing. So yeah, that's my short but sweet answer. Maybe not so sweet, but it would be to get an accountant. I don't know if that's helpful at all, Olivia. It especially won't be if you didn't even ask me that question. I do apologise again. I mean, since getting the kits up, I have been I've just I've dove straight into YouTube because I've got Vlogmas coming up, as I may have mentioned. That's what the advent calendar's for as well. It was an excuse for me to treat myself. But that's going to be making a video every single day. I've never done that before. Don't worry, I'm not going to burn out. If it does get tough or I start to feel overwhelmed, I'm just going to stop. So there won't be any chance of me burning out. But I am excited by the challenge. The thing that I am concerned about, though, is that at some point we are going to visit Dan's family for a week or so, and that adds an extra something to it. There's the whole filming while I'm up there and then editing it and then uploading every single day. Maybe I'll only be able to manage a day. Maybe one way around that might be just to do a big one, just filming and then edit it and post it when I come back. So there might be a week that I don't post any Vlogmas, although that feels like a cop-out because the whole point of Vlogmas is that there's a little video every day. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like you could just film the whole thing. It doesn't have to be any editing. It can be rough as something that's rough. Sometimes the words that my brain throws to me are only sweary ones and I can't. So, yes. Moving on. We shall see. But what I am trying to do is get a little bit ahead with the main channel videos by pre-recording some so that I can at least focus on the Vlogmas videos. But I'm not very good at pre-recording stuff that far in advance. I usually make a video for the following week and that's it. I can't batch things. I know there are some YouTubers who they make multiple videos and then they release them over the space of weeks or even months. I can't do that. I can't. If I make a video that far ahead, almost 2 weeks later, I don't want to post it anymore. It just doesn't feel relevant. I don't know. I mean, that's just in my head. Maybe it's just a whole skill set that I need to learn. But I have had to film one in advance because we will be driving back from London on the Monday, which is usually the day that the videos go up. And we will have been up there for the previous week. So it's not as if I'll have been able to film and record it and schedule it in advance. So I do need to do that beforehand. And this is my waffly way of saying that I would like to film and get all of the videos done for December so that I can just focus on Vlogmas. I have just said that. Whether or not that will be... I won't be able... Oh, I've just realised I won't be able to do that though. Damn. Because at least one of the videos in December is going to be based on my stats for November. So I can't film it until November's finished. So at least one of my Vlogmas videos is going to include me filming a YouTube video for the other channel, which is a bit meta, but needs must. I think I will wrap this up in a minute. I'm just going to finish this square. And before the next coffee and craft video, I need to have made a row of squares and attached it to the cardigan, and each row has got 12 squares, and this is my 4th. So I need to get a shifty on. Anyone who crochets must be watching this and going, oh, how is she holding that? Don't look too closely. Crochet is not something that I will ever look to monetize. This is my for me craft. There are some things that I like to do just for me, and I know I suck at them, and I don't care because I don't do them for any other reason than the way that they make me feel. And I love sitting on the sofa, usually listening to Critical Role on the laptop with a cup of coffee, the fire on. This, basically. I love doing this. And I've started to carve out a little bit of time for myself every Friday. When I finish doing the other stuff, I will always make sure that I have at least an hour to do this. And it's usually stitching or something, but it's like my way of ending the week on a high note, and also kind of a well done for the rest of the stuff. And over the next few weeks, when I'm doing my taxes and all of the rest of it, I am going to need all of the well dones. So yes, this might actually be the last video before Vlogmas. So you lucky people. Hopefully Vlogmas will not be quite as boring as this. So I do apologise, this has been a very dull video. These longer chatty videos, I like to make them as a kind of something to have on in the background when you're working. Basically, I like to make the videos that I would like to see myself on YouTube, because I can never find the things that, considering the amount of videos that's uploaded on the platform every day apparently, very often I go on there and I can't find what I'm looking for, which is just calm, chatty videos that I don't necessarily have to look at. I can look up and down at if I want to, but it's not as if I'm going to miss anything if I'm not looking at it. Sometimes I like vlogs because I do like to look, but you know, if I'm doing this, if it's something where I'm having to look at what I'm doing, I don't want to feel like I'm missing a whole chunk of the video. Anyway, there we go. So this will go, what was my last one, the green one, so I think I'm going to stick it there. One day, I've realised I'm clashing. There's a lot of patterns and colour going on in here. And then one day, I will rock up and do one of these videos, and I'll be wearing this. I am basically trying to turn myself into a human blanket. That doesn't actually sound like a bad goal to have. Right, folks. I hope this was enjoyable. And if you would like to see more, let me know. Next time, I promise I will put the shout out for questions and stuff a little bit closer to filming day, and I will write down the questions to make sure I've got more to talk about. But thank you for joining me, and if you've reached to the end here, you are a legend. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.